What's good? What's good? Welcome to the Epic Entertainment Critics. I'm Antoine.
And I'm still James.
Yeah, we did a trailer reaction for the Bel-Air trailer.
Had some very strong opinions.
Well, you know what? I didn't say it looked bad. I just said I didn't think that anybody that was a fan of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air would like this. And I got tons of comments on that.
Yeah.
I got a lot of comments. You know, some people, well, nobody agreed with me, but some people was, some people was mad, and some people was like coming with some straight up, for real critical things to say.
I think we had at least one person saying it's like which was my main thing, was like the mechanism of taking old stuff and switching the genre is just something I no longer want happening.
Yeah.
But I did have to like come into this with like, a fresh set of eyes and just like let it exist on its own.
I saw what you just did there. Fresh. But no. Sir, but if you take the show out of your brain, it holds up as a good show on its own.
Yeah, it really does.
Okay, so this episode, we watched episode 1, and I was, it wasn't bad. I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, this is actually gonna make a good drama. I mean, it wasn't perfect, and I'll tell you some little issues I had, but it was still enjoyable that I want to continue watching it, and I want to see where everything goes, and I'm gonna kind of break down these characters later.
Because we'll get into like all the nitty gritty, but like off rip, the only true problem I have with this as a show is that I have to keep reminding myself that it's its own thing.
Right, but I think once you watch it and don't compare it, because that's the problem. Once they show, oh, this is Carlton. You got Alfonso Rivera in your head.
Yeah, and so it's like I'm now like I can't not compare these characters to the characters from the original show, and like I don't want to.
Right, but I think once I started watching and started getting into it, I kind of left that behind.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay,
because they are very much distinct characters.
Right, so his time in Philly, and that character. What's the actor name?
I got nothing.
Okay, but he was making me mad, right?
Yeah,
and then he kind of won me over a little later as I started to root for him. But at first I was like, man, this little punk, he is really making me so mad. Because he said something like, dude was like, what about your scholarship? Yeah. Man, forget that scholarship.
Yeah.
If I can't prove something in my own hood, then I'm looking like,
I was so pissed at that.
You dumbass.
Yeah.
Like that's when keeping it real goes wrong. I'm like,
that's exactly what it was.
What are you talking about? Respecting the hood is more important than having a scholarship to go to college to play basketball, where you can potentially go even further.
This is the thing your life is about, and you're willing to throw it away for respect from someone you don't respect.
Yeah.
What?
And it wasn't like a disrespect thing. It was just like, oh, we better than them in basketball. So,
like his homeboy tried to call him on. It's like, man, you ain't gotta do this. No one's gonna care whether you do or not. Like, nah, but I need to know.
Yeah.
What you mean?
So I mean, and then I feel like, okay, actually that's a good thing that I was mad at him, because he got to learn.
Yeah.
So if he was already a smart kid that had all the answers, then what is he learning? He don't need to learn nothing.
One of the best
so that makes sense.
That first part of this episode does is it lets you know he still doesn't know who he is, and also like he's got talent, but he doesn't have like off the court fundamentals. He doesn't have like the critical thinking. He doesn't have like the evaluation part of his mindset.
Yeah, let's not forget he's only 16.
He's only 16, so there's that.
So we ain't,
so there's a lot of
still learning.
There's a lot of the work he hasn't had to put in, because the thing he wants to do is something he's good at. So
they didn't take too long in Philly, and I respected that, where it was like, what the incident that happened is, in the original, they showed him getting to it doing basketball court. They pick him up, start twirling him around.
Yeah.
So they kind of you knew it was like an incident when he got into it with some thugs in Philly, and that's why he had to go.
Yeah, it's a lot more hot than the original for sure.
Right, and then it makes more sense for him to leave town, because if he didn't, it was going to get really worse for him.
So I do also appreciate the mechanism that gets him out of town also necessitates him not coming back.
Yeah. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
And that was kind of good for the plot too,
Yeah.
where it made it more. It made the stakes a little higher, and it made it more interesting for me.
Because if you don't keep the stakes up, it's like you then end up, every time stuff isn't going right, the question comes up of, why don't you just go home?
Right, yeah. But you kind of wonder, once he got there, it's like, and his mother said to him, she's like, I don't want to be here. Then she's like, where you wake up yesterday? Where you at today?
Yeah.
He's like, are you in a better place?
Yeah,
that's facts, Mom.
That's
yeah,
facts.
dumbass. you could either go to jail or live in a mansion. Let me think about it.
Because like there's bits I really don't like about his character simply because I remember being 16 and being that dumb. Because like your reactions are all emotion based, and then whenever you had to stop, like, okay, yeah, no. When you look at the facts, it makes sense. You know,
I had a couple friends like that they wanted to be in the hood, but they actually lived out in a nice neighborhoods. Like it was like because the younger generation, they start buying into the fantasy that rappers and stuff give. That's a character. That's a persona.
Yeah.
And you get bought into that, and you think that's what you want to be.
But like also, and this is such a first world problem, but it's like not having hardship to use as a backbone for your story is their biggest like character flaw as far as they see. It's like they want to have that to be able to say, no, I came from this. It's like I want to be able to say I'm hard
street cred and all that, man. All that stuff. When you live in when you come from the hood, all that stuff, none of it matters, but you think it all matters for this, that, and the other, and none of all that crap don't matter. But as you growing up, you don't know what is really important. Because like you only know the stuff that they put out there and the music and all that.
And I always tell folks, just look at how they raise their kids. It's like no one who came through that and got out ever wants to put their family in that situation.
Right.
So why would you want to put yourself in that situation?
Because they believe the fantasy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They believe the fantasy that they put out there that they just telling just to make money, but you thinking, oh, that's the way I gotta live. You don't. So let's talk about once he got to Bel-Air, and then we start meeting the characters. On the whole, how did you like all the characters?
I really liked everybody, actually.
Yeah.
Like
I heard people got problems with Carlton. We're gonna talk about that.
I do have a lot of problems with Carlton, but also considering the time frame, I can see how Carlton ended up being the character he is.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be very important for like the arc of the show.
Right.
So like I'm willing.
I feel like he gonna have to learn more lessons than Will.
Yeah. Yes. I am now a little mad because there's some funny stuff that I would have loved to see them bring into this and try to make it work. That's never going to happen just because.
See, you got to get Alfonso Rivera out your head.
I know.
If you think about the Carlton dance.
I feel the power.
If you think about the Carlton dance, you think about the listen to Tom Jones and all the goofy stuff, you got to get that out. And that's kind of the problem, too. Alfonso Rivera made that character a cultural icon where, you know what I'm saying, he's probably more popular than Will Smith. As far as when you think of Fresh Prince, you think of Will Smith, but you got to, Carlton just there. Yeah. Carlton's kind of like how Urkel did with Family Matters, almost to an extent where he's a cultural icon. So it's hard to just, that was going to be a hard character to tackle.
Yeah.
And you got to make it serious,
I've
too.
got respect for the actor that plays him because it's not the way they've written him in the show is so hard to play as a black man.
Yeah. So let's get to him, but let's start off. We got Aunt Viv. I like her.
I like her a lot. She's great.
And I felt like she was like, I'm from Philly, just like Will was, and then she's trying to, actually she's trying to adjust to being a rich wife, where you got to act different when you there, and she had to have that conversation with him, where I sense, as soon as the beginning came, when he first got there, I sense it's a lot of people there, it's a party, Will about to be acting ghetto, and and Goofy,
And
he's going to
also,
embarrass them
there's
off the flip. They're going to be like,
moment-
hey, won't you, they're going to try to hide him right off the flip.
There's a great moment in that where she's so excited to have somebody from the hood that she can actually like vibe with.
Yeah.
And then she admits like, oh wait, there's a reason I don't vibe with the hood anymore. Damn.
Well, I mean, from her point of view, you can't.
It's survival.
Well, right,
partially.
that. But I was going to say, if you without warning, you can't just have, somebody come in the middle of this party, and so it's like
your high
you got to
society
act. You got to act a
garden
certain way
party,
around these people, right? And then you a lot of them was donating for their fund. I mean, for the what they call that? He's running for
he's
DA.
running for district attorney. Yeah.
So a lot of them was what they call them people that donate to your thing to your campaign.
The word escapes me suddenly.
But you know what I'm saying?
But I know what you mean. Donors.
Yeah, a lot of them was donors.
Yeah.
I guess a lot of them was donors, and it's like, okay, be cool.
Yeah.
Don't come in. Even I'm not a rich guy, I'm still gonna be like, whoa, yeah.
Because like
y'all stay in here. Don't come out there and embarrass me right now. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
oh, you fake. You ain't. Just it's a time and place.
Like I already know this show is gonna get into some very uncomfortable like topics on internal race relations.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
It's gonna
not
be
even just like
rich black and poor black. So we won't get to that. But let's quickly go through. So we had Hillary. She was nothing. See, don't compare them to like the other characters.
You can't.
She's very, and I was kind of surprised. She's
very
black.
Yeah.
Well, when I don't mean like dark, I just meant like I thought I was going.
She's not as whitewashed as you'd expect.
Right. Yeah. I was pitching her, but like the other Hillary was just a rich.
And that's going to bring in something else because like there is the topic nowadays of how
the only one that act like a white kid is
Carlton.
It's Carlton.
But like, this is the thing about that though is she's a content creator,
right?
And a lot of internet culture has aped a lot of black culture these days.
But I didn't sense that from her.
So like, but what I'm wondering is that why she's retained as much blackness as she has?
It could be. Yeah, I sense she seemed authentic.
And that's the other thing is she seems really authentic.
Right, they didn't really give Ashley that much, but little Ashley, we'll get back to her.
Yeah. Now, I will say, if there is a character I didn't enjoy, it is Uncle Phil.
Why not?
And it's just he doesn't. And this is a take I didn't.
Did you watch the
have.
first episode of Fresh Prince?
Yes.
Recently?
Not recently.
Okay, Uncle Phil was similar to that when he first. Everybody had a different kind of cadence when they first started, and then they started to lighten up as the show went on.
It's not because of how harsh he is. I get that and I respect that.
Right.
It's because I can tell he's not as genuine as Uncle Phil was in the original show.
Right.
So it's like
what you mean by that?
So like I can tell that like there's a face he's trying to put on because he's expected to act a certain way, and I respected the original Uncle Phil because that was just who he was. Like. There was a lot of like how Uncle Phil came up and the man he turned into, and there's an aspect of the current Uncle Phil that's like, no, you don't understand. I'm trying to be the DA. These people need to see me a certain way. I got to be this guy,
right? But I mean, he did get ambushed.
Well,
in the middle of his. I would be like, hey, we'll talk later.
Yeah, no. But like I'm just saying, it's like it's something I wasn't expecting to have to deal with. Like I was expecting him to be this kind of guy, but I wasn't expecting being that kind of guy to be something he was actively doing.
Okay,
that's all.
So I feel like Uncle Phil. I like Uncle Phil in his.
He has great moments in this episode too, though.
Right, I just feel like he gonna be caught where he want to do the right thing, but he. Probably gonna. It's just like a person in a position of power.
But you
can't always please everybody,
right?
And that's what Phil is. He's the head of the house.
And I'm looking at this. Will is going to be the least interesting character in this show because everyone else has so much more to deal with than he does.
Yeah.
As far as like making space for him and dealing with their own problems that we're like getting dropped into.
Yeah.
Whereas like his thing is like trying to maintain his identity, while staying safe.
Right. Well, okay, then we get another issue of him. Well, I'm gonna talk more about that, but let me finish the characters.
So we got Jeffrey.
Smooth Jeffrey. Jeffrey, he's the house manager.
Yeah.
He's British. I don't know who that actor is, but damn.
Like I want to hang with this
dude, man.
I want to hang with this dude. I want to learn his ways.
He called him Idris. I'm like, yeah, is that Idris' elder brother?
Yeah. It's like, Idris, very original.
So he the house manager, but for real, let's be for real. He's the fixer.
Yeah. And you know what? And that's the thing. Like when I was trying to figure out, because one of the comments we got on our review of the trailer was that, he's not a butler, he's a house manager. And so I went trying to find out what the difference was. And the biggest difference as far as like function wise is that a house manager is more like a major domo than a butler, where it's like they're not the help, they make your shit run right.
So he just pretty much Uncle Phil's number 2.
Yeah. And so it's like using the word fixer is really key, because it's like there's some unsavory shit that Uncle Phil can't be.
That's what
doing.
I like this. I said Uncle Phil is a gangster.
Yes.
Uncle Phil is a gangster.
Yes.
And Jeffrey is his fixer.
Yeah. It's like,
so you see how every time he was like, Jeffrey, pull that wire of money out,
hey, look.
throw a couple hundreds, now get your ass out of here. Let's talk about. We can talk a little bit about Jazz.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just a cool dude he met
Cool
or whatever.
dude,
And I kind of like how they handled that.
Cool LA cat.
That why would Jazz be here? You know, just he's somebody he just met, and he only person that's kind of down to earth, so he'll call him probably to hang out or something. That's cool.
Yeah.
So we got Carlton. Now let's talk about Carlton.
Yeah.
Carlton covered. Now I admit, I talked about this. That threw me off so much when I saw him, because he looked so much not like Alfonso Rivera. But
and the guy has a very striking appearance in and of himself.
Right. They went with dark skin.
Yeah.
All the banks are pretty dark skinned.
Yeah.
So I think that was a choice, because usually you see this everybody light skinned, everybody like whatever. So I mean, I could believe that Carlton is the son of the actors they got playing Phil and
but like he's also so
So what?
He's so whitewashed. Like
I know. Well, we're gonna talk about that.
It's only weird because
But the original Carlton was supposed to be like that.
No, and I get
they all was like that.
But they was all like that, and so it's like he stands out in this cast for being
right
so
because
whitewashed.
the rest of them are not.
And I get the feeling
that's the odd thing.
Yeah.
They supposed to be all stuck up, like the rich. They all stuck up. No, they all seem cool.
Yeah.
Like Hillary and Aunt Phil, they seem hella cool.
Like they just seem like rich black people.
Right, rich black people that's actually still down to earth too.
Yeah. And then you get to him, and it's like he's completely bought in.
But think about it. Look at his age. A lot of people that age, they're gonna want to be popular in school, right? He going to school with all rich white kids. He might that might have been something like, oh, this makes me popular.
Yeah.
Before nobody liked me.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, it's like
that's pressure in itself.
Because like I had a similar experience, but I will also say I wasn't trying to like fit in with the rich white kids.
Right, but see,
like I also didn't have the pressures of trying to represent my house.
But
so
I feel myself when I was younger, I wouldn't have done what Carlton, like we're gonna talk about what Carlton did, but I found myself trying to do things to be popular. Not really trying to do things, but if this was popular, I was probably trying to do it or something.
Okay.
Or, once you ain't got that many friends, but the popular kids like you for doing this.
Yeah.
So play a sport.
Yeah.
So if you get good, or they like you come up a grade, and before that nobody would talk to you. And then once they find out you can play basketball, now everybody the same popular kids that didn't want to talk to you all want to be your friend now. And that's a good feeling. That's a good feeling when you're a kid. You don't know this fake. You don't know they only cool with you because you can play. You know what I'm saying?
There's also the fact I was a loner, so that's
right.
But
thing. Even if you was a loner,
but I am.
It's kind of like chasing a high. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like chasing a high where, damn, I never felt all the admiration where where you know what I'm saying, and
it's one of those things.
I just feel that peer pressure can create that.
It's just specifically the version of it that he's bought in on is something I've only ever seen on TV.
Oh, I mean that's real.
I mean,
you ain't experienced, but it's really real.
I understand that it's real. It's just it's not something I've ever seen firsthand. So whenever I do see it, I always have to like go outside of myself to find out, is this like in any way realistic or is this just TV nonsense?
Which part are you saying? Like how he acts?
The extent to which he has completely like slaved his identity to trying.
Oh, dude, that's real as hell.
Yeah,
that's real as hell.
Yeah.
And I don't need to go on TV to see that. I see that a lot.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. Carlton is, because he got this rich. He got, if you're a rich black kid in Bel-Air, you're gonna be maybe it might be one other black kid. So you're gonna be the only black kid,
Right.
And you say, so he played lacrosse, like. Not too many black people play lacrosse, but hey, Jim Brown played lacrosse. A lot of people didn't know that. But you're obviously he played lacrosse. He he go to private school. It's just one scene in particular that was very real, and I think it's something I say we need to talk about that. Where they singing this rap song. They all saying the N-word. That's one thing.
Yeah.
The other part looks so bad. It's Carlton is in the middle dancing while they all saying, all white dudes standing around a black dude dancing while they all saying the N-word.
Yeah.
That was disturbing.
It looked like a minstrel show.
Yeah, basically.
I'm looking at the way he's dancing, and it's like it looked like
he was entertaining them.
It looks like he's putting on a show for them, and they're co-signing the show.
Oh,
as an
they
audience.
love that.
Like
this is my thing. From Carlton's point of view, it feels like admiration from people where you never got, and you don't know that they not laughing with you, they laughing at you. You don't know that yet until somebody teach you that.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? From his point of view,
I get it. It's just like it's so hard for me not to see it as exploitation because
as a grown man,
no,
but as a 16-year-old, you don't know that yet.
I did though. That's what I'm saying. As a 16-year-old, I knew that. Like,
okay, so
because for context, I up until high school, I was always the only black kid.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it was always very apparent to me that I stood out. It was always very apparent to me that I had a different perspective on everything than everybody else. So I could never have been in that situation as a kid and not said, hold up. I'm the one black guy in this group, and they're all watching me dance and having a good time.
While they're saying the N-word.
While they're saying the N-word. This shit ain't okay. So
right.
I never would have been able to take myself out of that and just be like, oh, no, we're having fun.
Right. But see, that's what I'm saying. I just tried to look at it from his point of view. My generation, that never would have flew. I just said, okay, this new generation is different. And I was going to say this. Because Carlton brought up something, how you gonna tell them they can't say nothing? All the money they make off the rap songs where they use the N-word, every other word is N-word, and you gonna tell them they can't say it, but they buying all these rap CDs. And it's like, I was like, you know what? That makes some sense. It offends me.
Well, so I actually thought about that too.
Well, let me finish.
Yeah,
it offends me. If I heard somebody call me the N-word, but I say rappers need to take the responsibility if they're going to keep using it and they know that white people buy their stuff or whatever race buy their stuff and it offends them, then you got to take some responsibility. And you got to take some responsibility as in, okay, I'm going to at least say it less or I ain't going to say it anymore or whatever. Because at some point, you can't just keep saying, oh, you can't call me that, but then you turn around and say it 2 seconds later.
Yeah.
You got to take some kind of responsibility.
I understand that, and that used to be my take on it. But the way I look at it now is almost that it's more of it's a reminder. It's like, nah. For the longest time, that was the only word your people had for us. Mm-hmm. And so now it's a word you can never use again.
But as you can see, they're using it.
No. So what I'm saying is this. it's ours now.
Right.
You tried to put this on us, so we took it, and now you can't have it back. So, like, using it is in and of itself performative to say,
but then
this is what you did. Now this is us.
But when in that case, if they use it, then you shouldn't get offended. Then, right?
Of course you should, because the point is you can't do it now. Hey, remember that thing y'all did? That was fucked up. Don't do it again. Don't forget it either.
Yeah, I mean, I was just to the point where I feel like
I certainly get that up your side of the argument, though. I'm not saying that it's invalid or anything. It's just I'm wondering if it's not at this point a necessary evil.
Well, I say by them doing it, it's spawning this right here. That scene, that's what it's starting.
This is one of those things where
because if you go to a concert, a Lil Wayne concert, somebody said they went to, it's like 75% white people there.
Yeah.
So they selling his music.
So like
they selling his music to majority white kids now.
I'm thinking part of the problem is that nobody's talking about it. No one's telling white kids, hey, I get that you dig this music, but you do know you can't say that, right?
Right, and that's the thing. I just feel like, why don't you just get some kind of compromise? It's like, all right, I'm gonna say it less, or I'm gonna use it sparingly. You know what I'm saying? Man, but I heard some songs, man, every other word is the N word. It's like you ain't really said nothing in this song.
Was it Gucci Mane that put that track?
A lot of them.
Like
Drake too.
My nigga, that one.
What's the damn it? What's the dude? Gold on my right. He just started his verse started on like nigga. Like, you just couldn't think of nothing else to say, huh?
Oh man.
Trinidad James. The point is, you make music for them, and you're using them every other word. At some point, you gotta, say, okay, well, let me try to.
I will also say there are those who use it as like a space saver in their music, and that's definitely
lazy.
Yeah,
lazy as hell. You being lazy and you ain't even trying no more.
Yeah,
and you using the N word for every 5 seconds.
Yeah,
but then you sell it to white people. Then you tell them, "Oh, I'm offended if you say it."
Yeah,
it's backward.
Yeah,
come on, man.
Like I think there's. Because it is such a complex situation that I feel like this isn't something we're going to fix on this show, but I do think it's more important than coming up with a solution is not running from the conversation, which I'm glad they did on this show. Is just
I mean that was a perfect example of what can happen.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and from Carlton's point of view of not knowing what he looked like doing this. And then I say, from his point of view, he didn't know because that generation is different from our generation, where that never would have flew in no locker room. White kids wouldn't even have dared even done that. You know, one, you don't want to. I wouldn't want to offend my friends, and two, it's like this is going to be a problem, so I ain't going to even go near it.
And like it's so weird to me talking to younger black dudes now. Because I grew up being warned about the way shit could look.
Yeah.
It's like, look, it's going to be you and a bunch of white kids. And if anything goes on, you're going to be the black guy in that situation. So stay safe. If you see them wilding out, you get gone. And I don't...
But the call that don't know no better.
And I don't think dudes...
I feel like this is going to be his lesson.
Yeah. And I don't think parents teach that anymore to black kids. Because at least a lot of the black kids I've met as an adult don't have that awareness.
Yeah, but yeah, so
it's like they don't know they're black. It's so weird.
So all right, so we gonna wrap up. But the whole thing is, I feel like it's gonna be a big lesson with Carlton gonna have to learn, and I'm kind of anxious to see how they gonna handle this. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was like, I'm interested in this Carlton character more than I thought I was because of the controversy surrounding it. You know, he's pretty much a black white guy.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what does that mean? So when he heard one of them call him a monkey or something behind his back, what does he do? You know what I'm saying? Does he act like it didn't happen?
Also,
does he lash out?
I'm curious to see what kind of mental gymnastics he doesn't realize he's done to excuse stuff that he's going to have to own up to later on.
But I bet you that happens way more often than not.
Yeah.
Especially when you got a black kid around white kids.
Yeah.
Because they feel like these are my friends. I need to do this to fit in.
And also it's like, no, they don't mean it like that.
Yeah. That's you're gonna hit that, you're gonna hear that a lot.
Surely my white friends
You're gonna hear that
racist.
all the time
Yeah.
from that one black kid hanging with them with all white friends or whatever. But I mean, dude, just the way it looked, woo, that looked,
Bro.
that looked
like, and it's like the moment you get in there, it's like you hear it and you don't know what you're hearing, and then you see it
Right.
and it becomes crystal
the way
clear.
it looked, especially with his shirt off,
Man.
the way he was dancing, everything looked bad.
Man, like the off rip, the whole thing is so wrong, and it's just like he doesn't see it at all.
But I bet you that, like I said, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the first episode, man. We ran out of time. It's a lot to talk about.
Yeah. There's a lot going on the show.
It was a lot better than I thought. I'm interested.
This is not nearly as much of a cash grab as I thought it was.
Yeah. It's got something to say.
Yeah, this got some legs to it.
So we didn't even talk about Will enough.
Because Will is a plot device. Screw him.
Yeah.
He's here because we needed the conceit of Fresh Prince to shine through.
Yeah,
but Banks family?
We'll talk We'll talk more about it on next episode. We'll get the next episode.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So we out of here. Please subscribe to the channel if you like our content. Hit that bell icon so you get alerts anytime we post new videos or we live stream.
And if you like what you've seen here today, and I do hope you did, hit that thumbs up down below, and don't forget to share us to your friends. And get in the comments down below. I definitely want to hear what y'all think about this show.
All right, y'all. We out of here.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.